I signed the divorce papers with a steady hand, not a flicker of doubt. My grip was firm, resolute. She had expected something else. Tears, pleading, a dramatic vow to change, to win her back. But I simply picked up the pen, pressed it to the line with calm precision, and returned the papers as if I were signing for a package. My tone was neutral. My stare held. I didn't break, she did. For a moment, just a flicker, uncertainty danced in her eyes. Only 2 months earlier, I would have done anything to keep her from walking out. I believed what we had was solid, unshakable. A decade together, side by side. A home we poured ourselves into, every corner carrying our touch. A company we built from the ground up with nothing but relentless effort, ambition, and what I once thought was love. I was wrong. I kept giving. She just kept taking. The shift began subtly. A trace of lipstick I didn't recognize when she returned late one evening. A fresh passcode guarding her phone. Her gaze drifting off mid-conversation, unfocused, absent, as if I were no longer even in the room. She became distant, emotionally and physically. But I noticed. I always did. I said nothing, just quietly gathered the pieces. The final crack came on a rain-soaked Tuesday. The kind of day where the downpour feels like a premonition. She'd left her tablet unlocked on the kitchen counter. Rare. A message popped up on the screen. Can't wait till he's gone tonight. Sent by Ethan. Our CFO. The best man at our wedding. Our daughter's godfather. I didn't throw the tablet. Didn't scream. I let the words burn themselves into my memory, etched deep and searing. I didn't confront her, because that would have been merciful. And I was done being merciful. From that moment, I stepped into the shadows. Quiet. Observant. Watching everything. I tracked her lies, late nights at the office, sudden investor meetings, weekend trips that didn't add up. I followed the evidence. Credit card statements. Business expenses. Flight bookings. 5-star hotels. Gourmet dinners. All billed to the company I built. 3 weeks later, during a candlelit dinner she arranged, she delivered the news like reading from a cue card. You don't seem happy. Maybe it's time we both moved on. Her glass of wine sat untouched. Her heart had already moved on, wrapped around Ethan. She thought she was in control. I gave her a small smile. You're right. Let's make this easy. From that moment, the mask was gone. I stopped pretending. I shored up every weakness, restructured accounts, restricted digital access, removed every clearance she had. Then I called Lauren, a forensic accountant I trusted. Old favor, sharp instincts. I handed her everything, emails, receipts, travel logs. Follow the money, I told her. In under 2 days, she brought back the truth. $78,000 siphoned into a shell corporation registered under Ethan's name. Connected and traceable. This wasn't just infidelity. It was embezzlement. I said nothing. I let them get comfortable. She started sleeping in, forgot to lock her phone. Ethan strutted into board meetings like he already wore my crown. I let the charade play out, feeding their sense of triumph. Then came the gala, a night dressed in elegance and influence. Black tuxedos, slow jazz humming in the background, a room filled with elite faces and polite conversation. The perfect setting. I walked to the podium, as expected, to give what everyone assumed would be the standard year-end company update. She stood close to the front, wrapped in a striking emerald gown, the color practically shouting her confidence. Victory clung to her like perfume. Beside her, Ethan hovered, his fingers grazing hers, a quiet, smug confirmation of what they thought they'd won. I spoke slowly, steadily. Tonight, I said, I'd like to speak on the subject of deception. No reaction at first. Their smiles didn't falter. I continued. This quarter, An internal audit uncovered inconsistencies, unapproved transfers, altered ledgers, falsified expense reports. Then I paused, locking eyes with the two of them, one a trusted friend, the other the woman I once believed I'd grow old with. The air tightened. Silence wrapped around the room. She subtly stepped back. Ethan's face drained of color. I held up a small USB drive. Everything's on here. Every transaction. Every message. Every lie. With a press of the remote, the screen behind me illuminated. Slide after slide exposed the truth. Bank statements, emails, digital footprints. The room didn't breathe. She leaned toward Ethan, whispering something frantically. He started toward the stage, but security cut him off with quiet efficiency. I stepped down, calm and deliberate, and handed the drive to the legal team. "Begin proceedings," I said. "No shouting. No theatrics. Just the beginning of justice." That night, she called me 4 times. I didn't pick up. Instead, I poured myself a whiskey, sat in the stillness, and watched the storm finally settle. The next morning, I filed for full custody of our daughter. The forensic findings were submitted with the petition, proof of fraud, evidence of irresponsibility. She lost her rights to unsupervised visits. As for Ethan, his professional life crumbled overnight. Last I heard, he was selling real estate out in Arizona. Fitting. People ask me if I ever miss her. I don't. What I miss is the man I once was, the one who trusted too easily, who believed love was enough, who would have sacrificed anything for someone else's happiness. But that man had to be left behind, so that I could become this version, wiser, sharper, unbreakable. She thought she'd get to write the ending to our story. She didn't.